352.
Hi guys, Sean here. I'm just going to show you how I do a nice brew. It's really easy and simple. A lot of people ask me how I do it, so I'm going to show you today. I've got my lager, I've got an enhancer, that replaces sugar. I've got a sterilising agent, I've got a sterilising bucket and my saucepan with my good spoon and my actual brewing container with a bubbler and a seal. Now everything's all been sterilised, so I'll show you the next step when we get to it, which is going to be, we're going to put the stuff in the saucepan, we're going to heat up 2 litres of water and we're going to get it simmering and add the contents. Okay, so we're just going to wait for the water to start simmering there. It's nearly done, and with the Cooper's Enhancer 3, that's for the stronger. I think it's like a 4.8, but I'm going to add some honey as well, nearly half a kilo. So, you know, and we'll test it after we've done it to see what alcohol levels it becomes. So anyhow, I'll start tipping her in. Okay, so for anybody who wants to know, the actual instructions are behind the can. Okay, and if you're using the enhancer, do not put a kilo of sugar in it. Okay, so what we're doing is we're putting the malt in the simmering water and we're going to stir it, mixing it in. Lovely, lovely, lovely. In there it goes, and you can see how I'm mixing it. There it is. Yep, doing a good job there. Scrape a bit more in. Okay, and we'll keep on stirring that until it gets back up to heat again. Okay, so we're going to add the honey. I've got the malt all nice and hot. She's nearly simmering. We don't want to overheat it. So I'll put in this large amount of honey, which is nearly half a kilo. By the time I put it in, it'd be pretty well close to half a kilo. So in it goes. Look at that, beautiful golden honey. And what the difference of honey and malt and sugar is the sugar, basically the yeast eats the sugar. But when it has malt and honey, the yeast thrives on it, so that's why I use it. I seem to get a better brew, has a better over a taste, and yeah, so there we go. Anyhow, so we're getting that all nice and hot. Now we're going to tip in the malt little bits at a time and keep stirring. It's getting pretty nice and warm in there. That doesn't take long for that honey to melt. Little bits at a time. And my assistant will show you what it looks like in the saucepan at the moment. There we go. Okay, so anyhow, we've got it up to a simmer. It's just about to boil. It's like basically everything's sterilised in there. So I'm going to take it off the stove top and we're going to tip it in the bucket. First of all, I'll put my spoon in the bucket. Now we're going to tip it in to the bucket. There's already a bit of cold water in there. Where I live, our water's so clean, I don't need to boil it first. That's a beautiful thing about this. No nasty bugs in our water. So anyhow, we tip that in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start turning it. Now the yeast loves the frothy stuff on top. So anyhow, what we're doing is we're going to keep on filling this up to 23 litres, which is about there on the container. So it's down a little bit on the container. And what I do is I'll put my heat measurement there, the thermometer, and that'll tell me roughly when it's up to the actual levels. So anyhow, I'll let you know when we get to it. Okay guys, we're just at the end of the making part, and what we're going to do is put the yeast in it, and I've left it overnight to get it to the right temperature. Nothing under 21 degrees and nothing over 28 degrees. You're better off to try and get it as low as 21 and keep it near 21. So basically I use the aircon and it keeps it at 22 degrees. So anyhow, I'll just give it a quick stir. One last stir. I've already stirred it. Right, so there she is. And then what I'll do is I'll get the yeast and I'll just tip the yeast in the top. Some people mix it, some people don't. I just stick it on top just like that. Lovely, lovely. And like I said, it's more about getting the temperature right. Closer to 21 degrees, the better brew you're going to have. So there you go. I'll put the lid on, and it'll take about anywhere from 6 to 7 days generally, and then I'll be ready for bottle. Okay, there was something else I haven't shown you, which is the hydrometer. Basically, in this brew, I know what it's going to make. It's going to be just over 5%. It could be about 5.2% alcohol with the honey that I put into it. So anyhow, but I'll test it at the end a couple of times. It's got to be the same over a couple of days before I bottle it anyhow. And anyhow, I've been doing some mead. There's the mead. It's bubbling away, doing a really good job. Lovely. But anyhow, there's my home brew sitting on good temperature. It's a bit warm today, so it's in between 22, 24, but that's pretty good still. So anyhow, see how we go. Okay guys, so about day 9, sterilised all my bottles, sterilised my caps, got my sugar, and I've got my fermenter, my bucket down there. We're ready to go, ready to bottle. So anyhow, I'll bottle and I'll put 2 drops into each one of these bottles. These are real old bottles, but they were in good nick, loved them. So anyhow, I'll bottle them up and see how we go. Okay guys, this is how I bottle. I basically put the bottle in the stem, and off I go. I take the bubble out off the top of the keg, so I'm not sucking that bubble of water back through the keg, of course. Everything's nice and sterile, my hands are sterile, everything's sterile. Anyhow, I'll fill it up like so. And the tests have been consecutive for 2 days with the hydrometer, so I know it's right. And here we go, and hit that there like that, take it down, and we've got just a nice height. There you go. Thank you. So I've been bottling, doing the capping and stuff, and what I do when I do cap is I make sure that I get a really good seal. So I'll put the bottle in, and I've capped it already, and then as I've pulled it down, I'll turn the bottle and give it another go, and I'll look, and then I'll have a really nice seal. Anyhow, I'm just going to sit back and have a bit of a beer after a hard day's work. Anyhow, I never used to drink, but I you know, as in my older age, I've started to get into a few different beers and love a good tasting ale and stout and draft and lagers, you name it. I just, any beer nowadays. I'm not a big fan of spirits these days. Anyhow, yeah, I'm having a nice stout at the moment, and cooking a nice steak. So we'll see if we can show you the steak. It's there in the fry pan, burning away. Don't know if you saw that. It's a big one though. And anyhow, yeah, it's a really lovely day here to have a beer, and I love the taste. You know, as time goes on with the beers, you know, the longer I leave them, sort of like the more the flavour blends in with it. You know, and it's just such a nice taste, and very relaxing to have, especially on a hot day. So anyhow, I'll get back to you, and when I crack a bottle of my draft with the honey in it, and I'll tell you what it's like. But this stout's absolutely beautiful. Anyhow, have a good one. Okay, so we're gonna pour a beer, and it is in a dirty glass, and I'm not holding it right, so we're probably going to get a really big head on this one. But it is a dirty glass because I've just had stout in it. But, you know, the dog wants to eat my food. And, you know, I was talking to a guy, and he's saying, oh, I've got great head retention. I don't like heads too much because I just want to fill up my glass. But look at that. Look at that. And it's really nice and clear. It's got a great taste. Look at that. Beautiful. I'll keep on topping it up. And the dog just wants to eat my steak. Don't you, doggy? Is that what you want? Yeah. Okay, you can have some soon. Well, there you go. There's my beer. It's really nice and clear, and I'm very happy with that. And yeah, that was probably a couple of weeks ago that I bottled that, and yeah, it's real nice to drink. So there you go.